Do-Rag Wisdom here, and today is 27 days since the 9/11 election of a monster. I make these broadcasts for mostly the young, for the future. Like Winston Smith in 1984, this is to the future. It can't be to the past because that's already history. Can't be to the present because a lot of people in the present think sick thoughts, have sick ideas. And maybe the future, as it says in 1984, will regard what I have to say on these broadcasts as meaningless because it will not even resemble today. Maybe it will be worse. Maybe there won't be a United States of America in another 100 years, maybe less. There may not be a planet, no less anything else. For we have nominated a monster, a narcissistic psychopath, an incompetent clown to be the leader of the free world. An incompetent clown that would welcome a Filipino president who now, this new Filipino president who's been murdering people, who's been lynching people in his country on the pretext of some kind of drug war. And he's invited him to the country called President Obama. The new monster-in-chief is inviting this monster, this other monster, the monsters to meet together. So I write and speak for the youth of today and for tomorrow, if there is one. I'm a big fan of movies. I like to read too, don't worry, I like to read, but I'm a big fan of movies. I taught movies and media when I was a teacher, a middle school teacher. I have about 3,000 titles, give or take. And many of my favorite movies include the satires, the black comedies. Even the soft, wonderful, meaningful, deep movies of Frank Capra, which I'm going to talk about on a separate broadcast because now is the time of year I like to watch my Frank Capra movies, but not this year. More about that later. But I grew up loving the movies. Now, I don't like the suits that make the movies these days because a lot of them are making them like they're stupid. Sorry. I don't like many of these movie stars who think they're so entitled. They get their big ass faces on that big screen, and when you walk up and want an autograph from them or whatever, they get all. Of course, I don't ask for autographs because I think they've already given me the entertainment. I don't need to ask that extra stuff. But still, you're on the screen, you're recognized, deal with it. Don't be an idiot. But they are, a lot of them are. Rich idiots. So a lot of these movies I have, these black comedies, it's going to be very difficult for me to watch them. Especially now that we've elected a black comedy. And when I say we elected, I mean a minority of this country's popular vote elected. So, here I go. Last night I was watching, or the last couple of days I've been watching Westworld. Now, I'm getting older and older, and, I don't like these continuing series. They'll go on for 5 years. I mean, how much time do I have left? I mean, I may be given a death sentence before Westworld even concludes its run. But I'm watching Westworld, and I'm thinking that all the shitheads who come to this resort to torture robots, the shitheads running this resort, the horrific, the monster. I mean, I'm watching. It was sad for me to see this, seeing what Because the profound sadness I felt when I was watching Westworld was that the creeps that created that park in there, the creeps that go and visit that park to sadistically destroy these helpless synthetic beings, that's what's running our country now. When I watch Paths of Glory, and this creep is sending men in to be slaughtered, and then he decides they didn't perform correctly, so he wants to have some of them executed. That's what's running our country now. The creep, the general creep from Paths of Glory. When I'm watching those bullying bastards in Clockwork Orange beating the shit out of that helpless drunk just because he's singing, that's the kind of crap that's now going to be running our society. When Howard Beale gets murdered by television, the creeps that encouraged his insanity, that's what's running our society now. The Hospital, that movie The Hospital. Some crazy maniacs running around killing people. He went crazy because the bureaucracy of the hospital, the dehumanization that hospitals put people through. That's the kind of creeps we have running. We have doctors who are going to be in power who will do harm, like that guy Price and now Ben Carson. It's Dr. Strangelove. Yes. A maniac's little fingers on a button. That's the kind of crazy maniacs we now have running this country. So when I'm watching these films, or TV series, or miniseries, that's what we have running, will be running our society for 4 years. Unless we come to our senses, unless we get into that bastard's face, because remember, he wants to beat up on protesters. He hates protesters. Unless we get in his face for everything he tries to do, and his creeps with him, such as cancel Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, destroy public education, everything else they want to do. Put that pipeline in there, in Dakotas. I do these announcements and these broadcasts, whether one person watches or 7 or 8 or 9 or none, because I don't want to go out of this planet with filth and shit on my hands. I'm a baby bungler. And we're leaving this planet with more trash than any campsite I've seen with pricks that were in it and were selfish. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Do-Rag Wisdom. I have more to say about this matter, and for now, get up in that creep's face and resist, protest, and remember, I'm here to give you as much of my wisdom as I can, as honestly as I can, because I want you to have a future. We baby boom bumblers gave you Trump, and I want you to have more. I want you to have a clean campsite. I want you to have a clean planet, a beautiful planet where every human being can live in peace and dignity without having assholes trying to F them up.